Hey guys, this is Coach Bill with Team Alka Viva. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Hey guys, today's video is about molecular hydrogen H2, which is a very powerful therapeutic antioxidant that's in every glass of hydrogen-rich water. Now, there's a lot of different manufacturers out there that are producing these devices. They're in-home devices that actually hook up to your kitchen sink. They take your source of city water and they actually convert it into what science calls hydrogen-rich water. Now, what makes the water so therapeutic to the body and why it's able to heal so many different disease models is because of a molecule known as hydrogen H2. Now, hydrogen H2 mimics a very powerful antioxidant that's able to neutralize the free radicals that you're consuming on a daily basis, causing many medical issues, causing you to premature age early. And also this H2, which is a very powerful antioxidant, is also able to neutralize the most dangerous free radical in your body, known as hydroxyl radical. Now the problem is there's a lot of different devices out there saying they're producing the hydrogen H2 in their drinking water from these devices, and that's just not always true. I've been involved with hydrogen H2 or molecular hydrogen H2 for about, I would say probably 13 years. And because of I was very intrigued with this molecule known as hydrogen H2, I became a certified molecular hydration specialist and went through a 14-month class to get certified. But over the years, I have learned that there's a lot of devices out there that are saying they're producing hydrogen H2 in their devices, and in actuality, they're actually missing that most important molecule. And so I was with a company for over 13 years that produces molecular hydrogen H2 in hydrogen-rich water. These devices that I was with for 13 years, coming to find out that I started testing the different devices that I sold to my clients. And this most popular device, which is known as the SD501, ran a lot of salt solution. Well, you can run salt solution through it to produce high 11.5 alkaline water, which is known to help clean the pesticides and herbicides off your fruits and vegetables. It's also used to clean the house with. It's good for those of you that have swollen joints to put on there. It also produces a very strong acidic water known as 2.5. Well, the salt water actually goes, or the solution they use to produce this very high alkalinity water and this very strong 2.5 acidic water, which is used by the wound care clinics to help with many skin diseases, which it does. It helps with many skin diseases. Well, what I found out through testing some of my clients' ST501s is the lack of hydrogen H2 in the water. So what I did was I actually tested multiple devices, SD501s that my clients in the past purchased, and I did a alkalinity test on it, and I also did a hydrogen H2 test on it to make sure that these devices were producing hydrogen H2. And come to find out that the majority of the SD501s that I tested were actually producing a good source of alkalinity, and they also had a good source of negative ORP. The problem was they were missing the most important property of hydrogen H2. And so I started thinking about this, and over the years, why didn't we test, when we did our live demos out there, why didn't we test for the hydrogen H2 using the blue drops, which is known by science as the best way to test hydrogen-rich water to make sure it has this very important therapeutic property, H2, in it. And I think I've come up with the reason for it, is because not all devices are created equal. And so you could be producing a good source of alkalinity, 9.5, and you could be producing a high negative ORP, which is known as oxidation reduction potential. But yet, when you test with the blue drops, you could be testing either very low hydrogen. You must be at 0.5 ppm, which is 5 drops of the hydrogen H2, in order to be known for that water to be therapeutic water. If your water does not show any H2 or is below 0.5 ppm, then you can no longer call that water therapeutic water, because the hydrogen H2 in hydrogen-rich water is what's able to neutralize the free radicals that are causing so much damage to the body. And that's why there's so many, there's over 1,000 peer scientific case studies showing that hydrogen H2 actually helps with many disease models out there. And there's reports, it seems like every couple of months we're getting new reports of the benefits of hydrogen H2 with many disease models. But the problem is, it's not the alkalinity of the water, the 9.5, and it's not the negative ORP that's going to neutralize the free radical damage that your body is consuming or flush out the acidity your body is collecting. It's all about hydrogen H2. So what I've done, guys, is I've actually done 3 tests on 3 of my clients' SD501s. And then I did a test with the new device that I'm promoting now, which is the AlkaViva device. And the reason why, one of the biggest reasons why I'm switching to the AlkaViva device is because of their new technology, their new filter technology, and their new cleaning technology, which the SD501 does not have. The AlkaViva actually has a certified third-party lab test showing their new filter technology takes out 99.9% of all the most dangerous toxic waters or toxic chemicals that are in your city source water. And also the new cleaning technology helps to descale the plates that are actually used to produce hydrogen H2 to give you a higher concentration of hydrogen H2. So what I've done is I've actually shown you that the AlkaViva device actually has higher concentration and more consistent concentration of hydrogen H2 to make sure that you're getting that therapeutic property, hydrogen H2, with every glass of hydrogen-rich water. And so it'll be listed as test 1, test 2, and then test 3. And then test 4 will be the AlkaViva device. So let's go ahead and let's start with test 1. Hey guys, this is Coach Bill, and today's going to be our first test on hydrogen H2 in different types of machines. Here we have the Nagic, which is probably one of the top selling machines out there. So we all know that for water to be therapeutic to the body, it has to have 3 properties to it. You got to have the alkalinity, you got to have the negative ORP, you got to have the H2, which is the most important. Now, what is being shown out there is that a lot of people who are doing these demos are not doing the actual hydrogen H2 test themselves. All they're doing is the alkalinity test and the negative ORP test. Well, today we're going to do all 3, and we're going to do them in order. So if your water is showing high alkalinity, then most likely you have a negative ORP, which is oxidation reduction potential. Most people who are doing these demos are actually misinforming the people, saying that the negative ORP is the antioxidant of the water, and it is not. It's the H2. You can have water with high alkalinity, you can have water with a negative ORP, but if there's no H2 in it, you cannot call it therapeutic water. You got to have all 3 of them. And today we're going to do a demo on the first machine that I'm going to test. So first thing I'm going to do is let's see about the alkalinity of the water. So So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on.
Ambient water 9.5.
And let's go with the flow that most people probably are drinking of that. Let's let the plates warm up a little bit here. Let's go ahead and put some water in. Turn it off. We got our red drops. That's going to tell us if it's got alkalinity to it. Go ahead and put that in there. Yes, it's got the mineral content in this source of water. This area has a lot of good minerals in it, so we've got a high alkalinity. Now with the water being purple like that and the high alkalinity, most likely it's got a negative charge of probably, I don't know, between 500 to 700. Now this is the issue. This is where most people are not showing the actual hydrogen in the water. And so these are what we call blue drops. And they're saying that the science is saying, like I said in the first video, science is saying the best and accurate and most inexpensive way to check for hydrogen in your water is with these blue drops, not by a negative ORP meter. That has nothing to do with the hydrogen. It only shows a potential of having it. You actually want the hydrogen in the water to make it therapeutic, if you're going to call it that. So we're going to go ahead and take a little bit of this water.
Ambient water 9.5.
In the same flow. Okay guys, we're going to take the drops. We have a little doggy here who is talking to us, wanting to know what we're doing. All right, so let's go with 1 drops. Now in order for water to be therapeutic, it has to have 0.5 ppm. So 1 drop of this is 1 ppm. And so let's go ahead and start with 1 drop first. And shake it a little bit. And let's see what happens to it. Let's see if it clears up. Now, if it has hydrogen, it's actually going to turn clear. Taking a little time here. No, come on, let's give it a little chance. We're not going to rush it here. Well, it obviously doesn't have, it has some H2, but most likely not very much. And obviously we can't call it therapeutic, because remember, you've got to have all 3 properties of the water. So guys, this is my first test, and now I'm going to do a second test, and I'll show you on a second machine. I'll go through the same thing. Let's see if it has H2. Okay guys, this is going to be our second test of the second machine. This machine was probably cleaned, what, a month ago, you think, Jen?
3 weeks, yeah.
Three weeks ago. So the first thing we're going to do, now remember, we need all 3 properties of the water for it to be called therapeutic water. So we're going to test for the alkalinity. We got to have the negative ORP, which is the oxidation reduction potential. And of course, the most important property of the water is the hydrogen H2. That's where most people are not testing, is for how much hydrogen is actually in the water. And again, without the hydrogen in the water, you no longer have, you cannot call it therapeutic water. So let's go ahead and test this water. And let's get the flow where most people will drink it at first.
Ambient water 9.5.
Okay, so I'm going to slow it down a little bit. That's probably where most people will drink the water. And let's test for the alkalinity first. Now, if you have good alkalinity, most likely your negative ORP is going to be high also, and that's the issue too. It's not the negative ORP that gives it the antioxidant ability. It's the actually hydrogen H2 that is the antioxidant. You can have a negative ORP of 300 to 500, and if your water is producing H2, you could be up to 1.5 or higher on your H2. So just remember that it's not about the alkalinity, it's not about the negative ORP, it's all about the H2. Let's go ahead and test this water. Well, you can tell that this is a good source of, there's a lot of minerals in this source water, and it's purple, so most likely this machine is either at a negative 500 or a negative 700. But now let's test for the property of hydrogen H2. And we're going to go ahead and do the same flow, hopefully. Let me slow down a little bit lower. Okay, so what we're looking for is we're looking for 0.5 ppm to be therapeutic, which means that these are blue drops. One drop is 0.1 ppm, so we want 5. So we're going to go ahead and try one drop first and see if we have any detection of hydrogen in this second machine. And let me stir it up. So it has to go clear. If it has hydrogen, it's going to go clear. So let's go ahead and give it a chance here. Sometimes it takes a little while. It is clearing a little bit, but obviously not enough to be 0.5. It takes 5 drops in order to have 0.5 ppms. Remember, you need to have 0.5 ppms in order for it to be therapeutic. But let's be fair about this. Let's go a little bit slower, and we all know that the slower the water goes through those plates in the device, the more hydrogen, the higher the negative ORP is. So let's go slower. The only problem with these devices here, if you go too slow, where that is now, the water's going to taste fishy, and most all of you aren't going to be able to drink it. But let's just check to see if this increases the H2 in the water. So we're going to go with 1 drop again. 1 drop. And let's see if we get anything. Well, guys, I'm afraid it did. There's probably a little bit, but not enough to be called therapeutic, not even close to be called therapeutic water. So you can see it is lightening up a little bit, but obviously there's not enough in there to call it therapeutic water. So the next device that we're going to check is going to be the Alkaviva device, which is known for its H2, and we're going to compare. You guys have a great day. Okay. Hi, this is Coach Bill with Bill Mabry Online Coaching. Hope you guys are having a great day. Guys, this is my test number 3 on a electrolysis device that actually produces the most powerful antioxidant, which is known as hydrogen H2. What we're doing here is we're testing different machines to actually see how much hydrogen, concentration of hydrogen H2 is actually in the water. The problem is this is where the misinformation is. People are telling their group, or if they're doing a live demo, they're saying that the negative ORP is the antioxidant of hydrogen-rich water, which makes it therapeutic, and that's absolutely not true. ORP means oxidation reduction potential. The word P is that the negative ORP, that water has the potential to have antioxidants. The antioxidants in the water is the H2. Now you can have high alkalinity and you can have a negative ORP, but if that water doesn't test to have H2 in it, it is no longer could be called therapeutic water. And so that's what we're looking to do here. You have to test. Those people that are doing the demos need to test for the alkalinity, they need to test for the negative ORP, and they also need to test for the hydrogen H2. So I'm going to test a device here, which is one of my clients, and I think he's had his machine for a few years, and he does run the salt solution through the machine. He's ran through it in the past to actually make the high 11.5 and the strong 2.5 strong acidic. Now, I'm making a point here, and that's why I'm going to say it one more time. He has ran the solution through the device. And so what we're going to check right now is we're going to check the alkalinity of the water. If we're getting a deep purple, then we know it has a negative ORP. I'm not going to test for that because we already know it has it, and also because it's not the most important part of the water. So let's go ahead and test it. So I'm going to get the flow to what normally he drinks it at. And I'm going going to turn it down a little bit more. If he drinks it at a little slower pace, I think that's around, is that about right, Randy, you think?
That'd be it.
Okay, so let's test for the alkalinity now. All right, let's test for the alkalinity. Big time, purple. Great alkalinity, and also this is telling us it's got probably a negative ORP of minus 600 up to all the way up to 700 most likely. Okay, so now we're going to check for the actual most important property of the water, and that's going to be for the hydrogen. And what I have is I have these blue drops. Now in the video, my introduction video, I gave you the science behind these blue drops, and this is what the science is saying, that when you're going to test for hydrogen, the actual negative ORP meters does not test hydrogen. The hydrogen H2 meters are inaccurate. Science is now saying the best way to test for hydrogen in water is with these blue drops, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to take the flow, again, where he drinks it at normally. That's about right? Yep. Okay, so let's check for hydrogen. Now, what we're looking for is the blue drops. When you drop the blue drops into the water, it should clear. But what we're looking for is therapeutic hydrogen H2. It must be 0.5 ppms or higher, preferably higher for most people that have major medical issues. But let's go ahead and start off with 3 drops. So 5 drops will give us the 0.5. But let's go ahead and start off with 3 drops and see what happens. I got 1, 2, 3. So let me stir this up real good. Now sometimes we have to give it a little time. So remember what I said, it has to clear up. If it clears up, that's telling us it's got hydrogen H2. And as you can see, it's starting to clear up. So it has some hydrogen in it. Now that's the flow that he normally drinks it at. Now we know that by slowing the flow down in the machines will actually produce more hydrogen H2. But most people cannot tolerate the water when it's going through too slow through the actual machine. So it cleared up. It's still blue, but it cleared up. Let's go ahead and put 0.4 in there. So we put 0.4 in there. And most likely it's not going to clear up, it's going to stay there. So we're actually not at 0.5. But what's interesting is let's go ahead and slow the flow down. Now when you slow the flow down to where I'm going to actually show it, the water in this device is most likely going to taste fishy. And you guys aren't going to be able to drink this fishy water. But we just want to check it to see how much hydrogen is actually going to be in the water. So we're going to slow it down to right about there. That's about there. So you can notice the flow is a lot lower. But it will have a taste that most of you won't be able to tolerate. Now let's go ahead and put 0.3 in there again. 1, 2, 3. Now remember, the water went through the plates a lot slower than the first time. So let's go ahead and go here. Look how much faster it's starting to clear up. See how fast that was? That's hydrogen. That has hydrogen. Now let's go ahead and go to 0.5. So I put three drops in. Now let's put 2 more drops, and we're going to get to 0.5, and that's where we want to go to be we can actually call it therapeutic water. 1, 2. So let's see how quickly that actually, pretty quick. Boom. Okay, so see how fast that was? That's telling me that most likely he's probably at 1.0 or higher with that flow going much slower. But the issue is that most of you aren't going to be able to tolerate the taste. You're going to lose the fresh taste by going through the device very slow. You're not going to be able to tolerate that every single day, drinking 64 to 100 ounces per day. Okay, so this is test number 3. When he slows the machine down, he's going to have a good source of hydrogen H2. Now we'll go on to test number 4, which will be a AlkaViva device that has never had any solution ran through it at all. No salt solution at all have been ran through it. So we'll test that. Will be our next test, and we'll talk more about that. Okay, have a great day. Hey guys, this is Coach Bill with Team AlkaViva. Hope you guys are having a great day. So this is test number 3. The last video I tested that it was a device that I was representing for over 13 years, and I moved to a different company because of new technology. So I said that I'll be testing the AlkaViva device, which is the device I am promoting today. But before I actually get into the test to actually test the hydrogen in it, I want to show you the reason why I am now promoting AlkaViva. And as you can see here, we have 2 filters. So the AlkaViva device has the new filter technology, also has the new cleaning technology, which is very important for an electrolysis device in order to be able to produce a good concentration of hydrogen H2. Now, these 2 filters were actually certified by a third-party lab showing they take out 249 of the most dangerous toxic chemicals in your source water. Also, the new technology in the cleaning means that I do not have to clean the device every 2 weeks, and I don't have to send it into the company every 6 months or 12 months for a deep clean. The new technology, the DIRT 2, actually will descale the plates that are internal, that produces the hydrogen H2 every time you use the machine. So that's the new technology. The third major component of the AlkaViva that I really had a positive attitude about in the research was it actually produces more hydrogen H2. That's what makes hydrogen-rich water therapeutic water. Without the hydrogen H2 in the water, you cannot call it therapeutic water. So there's 3 properties of hydrogen-rich water you must have. You must have the alkalinity, you must have the negative ORP, and you must have the hydrogen H2. A lot of these people that are doing these live demos out there, they're only doing the alkalinity test, and they're only doing the negative ORP using a meter to test the negative charge in the water, but they're not actually doing the hydrogen H2 test, and that's what they must be doing. What most people are drinking, you have different levels, the same as those other devices. Most people are drinking level 3. So we're going to go ahead and use that level, and I'm going to turn the machine on, and as it goes on, you can see these bars here. Now, what I recommend people to drink is to bring the bars down to half the bars on that chart there, which is probably right about there. So let's raise it up a little bit higher. There we go. So, and now look at the flow. You'll notice that the flow is much slower on this device than all those other devices. And you know as well as I do, the slower that the water goes through these plates, there's 9 plates here, not 7, not 8, but 9 plates. The slower the water goes through those plates, the higher concentration of H2. That's what we want for the water to be therapeutic. But what's unique about this device is that by having the water flow slower, you're not jeopardizing the refreshing taste of the water. As you saw in those other devices, that when you slow the water flow down, trying to get the H2, the water itself changes and the taste is horrible. And even if you slow it down and you might be getting some H2 in there, you won't be able to tolerate the water. Here, they've designed the internal plates, 9 plates, to where you can still get a slow flow and get high concentration of H2 and not lose the refreshing taste. So let's go ahead and test for the alkalinity first. Okay, so I'm going to use my red drop like the same way that the demos do. And let's see what we get. Okay, a good purple color. That's what we want. And so I don't even use an ORP meter anymore, because now I know through science that the negative ORP isn't the property, the antioxidant property of hydrogen-rich water. But because I have a good source of alkalinity in this water, I have a negative ORP, which most likely could be around, I don't know, negative 500 up to a negative 700. So now that we've tested the alkalinity and we know that we have a negative ORP, that's 2 properties that we need. Now let's go ahead and go to testing the hydrogen in it. Now, for us to have therapeutic hydrogen, we need 0.5 ppms of H2. These are blue drops. Now, science is saying the blue drops are the best way, the most accurate way to test hydrogen-rich water for hydrogen in it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get some of the water here. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and put 5 drops in there. Now what has to happen is that the water needs to turn clear. And that's going to, if the water turns clear, that's telling me I have hydrogen H2. Well, I need 0.5 ppms to call this water therapeutic. That will help with many disease models. So let's go ahead and put 5 drops in. 1 drop means ppm. I'm putting 5 in. Let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let's see what happens. Starting to clear up. Okay, see, guys, it actually cleared up. That's telling me I have 0.5 ppms of hydrogen. Now we use level 4. And the reason why is because I want a little more hydrogen in my water. And I put it at the halfway bar there. But what I like is that it's probably at an alkalinity of maybe 9.6 up to a 9.8. I want a little higher concentration of H2 in it. Plus, I don't want to lose the refreshing taste. So I'm going to go ahead and test it. And let's see how quickly it changes. Two, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there's five drops, and that's what I want. So let's see here. Look how fast it changes. I can put 6 drops in there. See how fast it changes? I can go up to 14 drops. So I tell people to get the best out of the water to go to level 4, bars in half. You're not going to lose the refreshing taste. Okay, guys. So that was test number 3. Now we're going to go to test number 4, which is going to be at a client's house, and it'll be a SD501, a different design or a different type of electrolysis device. You guys have a great day. Okay, guys. So this is going to be just a short recap of the test I did on the one of the leading manufacturers of a hydrogen generator, which is the Enagic SD501. And also I did a test with the AlkaViva device, hydrogen H2 generator that I'm now promoting. And just to let you know again, the Enagic SD501, I represented them for over about 13 years. Basically, I left that company because the filter technology was not new, and they did not have a certified lab test showing that their internal filter does take out the most dangerous toxic chemicals in the source water. I moved over to the AlkaViva device because of the new technology in the filter, which is taking out 99.9% of the most dangerous toxic chemicals, and also because of the new cleaning technology that the AlkaViva has, which is called the DIRT2, which is helping the descaling of the internal plates that are actually used to produce the hydrogen H2. Also, the AlkaViva is consistently putting out 0.5 ppm and even higher with every glass of water because of the filter, the new filter technology, and because of the DIRT2 cleaning technology to help to descale the plates. And so, as you saw in the video, guys, with the 3 SD501s, that definitely used the salt solution through the device to produce the higher 11.5 and the strong acidic water. And all three of these devices were between the age of probably 5 years old up to 10 years old. You saw that the concentration of H2 was below the therapeutic level of 0.5 ppm to actually call the water therapeutic water, even though it had the high 9.5 alkalinity, also had a negative ORP. It was missing the most important property of the water, was the hydrogen H2, which is actually going to neutralize the free radicals that are causing the many medical issues that are out there today. And of course, neutralizing the most dangerous free radical of all for the human body is the hydroxyl radical. According to science, over 1,000 peer case studies and more coming, the H2 is the actual agent that is going to help with many disease models like cancer, type 2 diabetes, dementia, high blood pressure, and many other diseases. As you saw with the AlkaViva, now all three of those devices, the Enagic SD501s, I tested at the highest level of water that they have. The AlkaViva, if you noticed, I did not test at the highest level. I only tested at the second highest, the third highest level and the second highest level, and both the third highest level and second highest level both showed over 0.5 ppm of hydrogen H2. So if I were to check even the highest level, like I did with the SD501s, it would even be producing more hydrogen H2. But the biggest concern, or the biggest thing you need to really focus on, not only because the H2, the AlkaViva produces more concentration of hydrogen H2, but because it takes out 99.9% of the most dangerous toxic chemicals in your source water. That's the key. You cannot be drinking those dangerous source water. According to science, since 2019, they've discovered, along with the 329 most dangerous waters in the source water or in the city water, they've discovered 56 more new ones. And also, recently in 2022 and 2023, now they've discovered even more. This is put out by the EPA and the CDC, that they discovered even more toxic chemicals that are dangerous to the human body. And one of them was discovered in 2023 that they're concerned about, because it'll take billions of dollars to get it out of the water, which, you know, the water district isn't going to spend the money. But because it's so dangerous, it's linked to actually causing certain cancers. And so that's why I moved over to AlkaViva, because of their new technology. So guys, if you have any questions, you can go to my YouTube channel. Bill Mabry Coaching. There I'll have the science of why they're saying you should not run salt solution through an ionizer until more test is being done, because interesting, I have found that the devices, the ones that ran the salt solution to produce the 11.5 and the 2.5, those devices did not show a therapeutic hydrogen H2. It was well below the 0.5 ppm. Interesting, I checked a fourth SD501 at my client's business who never ran any solution through their SD501s, and their device was about 3 years old. They kept up on the cleaning, and that device, which was the Enagic SD501 under the counter, actually produced 0.5 ppms of hydrogen. Now, personally, I've taken apart 2 of my SD501s, and both of them we consistently use the solution, and the plates were actually burnt in those. The scaling there was no scaling on the plates at all, but the plates were burnt, and the reason why I took them apart is because both machines stopped working completely. Okay, guys, so guys, like I said, you can go to my website, teamalkaviva.com/drinknatureswater/. Click on Get Started. Go through the short videos that will educate you about the power of hydrogen H2 as being a healthy, being a benefit to the body. And also, when you get to the video where you can actually put your zip code in, check out to see what toxic chemicals are actually lurking in your drinking water. And then contact us, and we can send you some more information on how you can purchase your own Alkaviva device. You can either get an above counter or a below counter, and like I said, both of these devices do hook up to your source of city drinking water. You guys have a great day.